very interesting to me in terms of a form of media is that they're inherently malleable, which means that when people go see a movie or read a book, they're reading the same book or seeing the same movie, but games have the ability to change. They're unique and centered on every single individual. And right now, that takes the form of everybody's basically kind of driving in a different direction within the landscape of the game. But it has much more possibilities than that, actually, where games can go. So here we're actually just kind of starting the game at a very, very small scale, microscopic organism. This is my little guy, and basically I have to kind of swim around and eat. As I eat, my little guy grows. The camera actually begins to pull out. This game actually starts very, very simply and introduces concepts kind of slowly to the player. At some point, as I zoom out, these things that you see in the background will grow larger, and I'll be competing with them. Right now I'm competing with these other small things. But after I eat enough things in this, I'll actually lay an egg and then design the next version of my cell. So the thing that I'm driving around controlling here is actually of my own design. So in some sense, I'm an intelligent designer here. So here we see the camera pulling back a bit here. Now I'm going to skip ahead quite a bit here and show you what it looks like when I kind of enter the next phase of the game. And at some point, we become a large macroscopic creature, and we're designing that as well. Now, when I said that games are inherently malleable, one of the really interesting parts to me is that players can be creative in games. You don't really think of creativity so much when you're consuming other forms of media, but basically, we've built editors for everything in the game that you encounter. So here, we basically have kind of a metaphor of like this little clay-like thing that I can kind of inflate, deflate, and basically kind of sculpt any creature I want to. This is the creature editor. So every level of the game, in some sense, you're editing some part of what you're going to be actually playing with in the game. So here, I'll put a mouth on it. And there's a little currency that goes along with this. These parts have like little morph handles. So what we wanted the players to do is actually create all the assets that they come across in the game. Typically what happens is a computer graphics person, and it starts coming to life as I start building it. And pretty much anything I can envision, I can kind of build in this game here. Typically, you know, what would happen is a professional would spend many weeks kind of designing something like this, doing the mesh and, you know, high-end computer program. But we've basically taken what are normally high-end development tools and made them very, very accessible and very easy to use, where like a 6-year-old can kind of use these things. And so you see as I start putting parts on this thing, it kind of slowly starts coming to life. And this will be the character that I play with. So here I have a full mesh, about 20 mouse clicks. This is something that typically would have taken a computer artist maybe a week to build. Now the computer at this point actually has some understanding of the topology of this thing. It knows where the back is, the side, the limbs. I can pick out texture scripts, and these are actually computer programs that analyze the thing and paint it instantly with a click of a button. And we can see it coming to life as well. And then once I basically have something that I like, I can go into test mode and then see how it would move. At this point, the computer is actually analyzing the thing I've created and then calculating kind of physics, how the thing would move, how it would behave. I can kind of run different animations, see it show different emotional states. So here it's kind of mad. This is happy. Laughing. Or dance. But now, what's kind of interesting about this is that we found that when somebody's able to create their own thing in the computer, the emotional attachment with it is tremendous. And what I really wanted to do was take kind of your average 10-year-old, which means an adult can use it also, and give them the power to create something that typically would take a Pixar artist, you know, weeks to create. And this is all done through the intelligence of the tools, you know. And really, I think this is a long-term trend in computers, is the fact that computers are going to enable people in the game and have to, you know, eat, survive, eventually mate to get back into this editor and design the next generation of this thing. And in doing so, they're basically creating a story. And typically what games have done up to now is they've kind of put you in the role of a protagonist. Here's who you are. Here's the backstory. Here's how you save the princess. And so basically you're Luke Skywalker or Frodo Baggins. But in something like this, what I really want to do is put the player more in the role of J.R. Tolkien or George Lucas, where in some sense, as they play the game, they end up creating every aspect of the game, of the creatures, of the characters, of the environments. I'm going to pop out of this real quickly and